Lesson 31. Meet the Emmanuels. Listen.
Partnerships between two creative people often produce marvellous results, and that's the case with David and Elizabeth Emmanuel, a husband and wife team. They started their own business when they left college, and suddenly became well known when they designed the Princess of Wales's wedding dress. Listen to David Emmanuel talking about how they work.
How do you split the work up between you?
Well, we have separate workrooms, so although we are 24 hours together, we try to be slightly objective and look at each other's work during the day rather than constantly being together.
Setting up your own business must have been quite an achievement straight out of college.
I don't know how we did it. We were fortunate that we had family backing, which I think in a way was very good. It has its advantages and disadvantages, obviously.
What were the disappointments that you had?
I mean, the most incredible things used to happen. Wonderful people used to arrive and order the most wonderful frocks and suddenly would then just take them and not pay, or would possibly pay 6 months later. Now, for a very young company, that's very difficult. When we've invested, let's say, 15 metres of fabric in a dress that's cost £25 a metre, that's just the bare cost, without the work and the labour on top of that. So you're talking about a lot of money.
If there is somebody who would like one of your wedding dresses or ball gown, how much would they have to save up?
Oh gosh, it really all depends on the fabric and the amount of work, what they want. I mean, don't forget, we've got people coming here with extraordinary ideas, and we have to get out what is in their minds down on paper and work it out. We work out a quotation for each client, and we say there's going to take X amount of silk chiffon or silk organza, and we give them a quotation, and if that's accepted, then we start to work.
The dress which made you famous was the Princess of Wales's wedding dress. Now, I know that you attended the royal wedding. Is there any particular moment which stands out in your memory?
The most incredible time was back at Buckingham Palace after the balcony scene. We were asked to assist with Barbara Daly, the makeup artist, and Kevin, the hairdresser, Patrick Lord Litchfield for the photographs, and actually been in the throne room and seen all the members of the royal family being photographed as a family. I mean, they were so sweet, and one didn't feel uncomfortable or out of place. I mean, they were just the most charming people in the whole world. It was amazing.
Listen and repeat.
We'll give you an estimate once we've worked out the costs.
It all depends on the amount of work involved.
It's hard to say how long it'll take.
We have to allow for delays.
It's hard to say how much it'll cost.
We have to allow for inflation.
Raw materials. Labour costs. Overheads.
We have to consider overheads, as well as raw materials and labour costs.
Rent, electricity, heating, transport, insurance, maintenance.
Can you quote me a price for these goods? The wholesale price, the retail price.
I'll have to consult my partner.
My partner and I divide the work between us.
We work separately.
We work together.
We consult each other on everything.
We advise each other on difficult issues.
It's a great partnership.
Pronunciation.
Listen carefully to the pronunciation of the words underlined in the sentences in your book. Repeat each line.
Are you coming to the party?
Yes, we are.
We should wait for the others.
What for?
We must meet again soon.
Yes, we must.
Who is the telex from?
It's from Lou Caruso.
Some more coffee?
Yes, I'd love some.
It was an interesting meeting.
Was it?
Okay, that's all on pronunciation for today.
Practice 1. Listen and speak.
Listen to this shop owner asking a builder for an estimate for repairing the roof of his building.
Now you've had a look at the roof, can you quote me a price for the repairs?
Yes, I'll give you an estimate once I've worked out the costs.
Do you think it'll be very expensive?
It all depends on the amount of work involved.
When do you think you'll be able to finish the job?
It's hard to say how long it will take.
Now you answer the shop owner's questions.
Well, now you've had a look at the roof, can you quote me a price for the repairs?
Yes, I'll give you an estimate once I've worked out the costs.
Do you think it'll be very expensive?
It all depends on the amount of work involved.
When do you think you'll be able to finish the job?
It's hard to say how long it will take.
Now answer the shop owner's questions about repairs to the windows.
You've seen the windows, haven't you? How much do you think they'll cost to repair?
I'll give you an estimate once I've worked out the costs.
Can you give me an idea of how much it will be?
It all depends on the amount of work involved.
How soon do you think you can do the job? I'd like it to be done as soon as possible.
It's hard to say how long it will take.
Practice 2. Listen and speak.
Practice asking about wholesale and retail prices for electrical goods. First, listen to the example.
Yes, can I help you?
Can you quote me the wholesale price for your latest cassette players?
Yes, they come at £75 each.
And what's the recommended retail price?
About £90.
Now you ask for the prices.
Yes, can I help you?
Can you quote me the wholesale price for your latest cassette players?
Yes, they come at £75 each.
And what's the recommended retail price?
About £90. Would you like any more information?
Can you quote me the wholesale price for your smallest home computers?
They're about £50.
And what's the recommended retail price?
I think it's £65 or £70. Are there any other prices you'd like?
Can you quote me the wholesale price for your newest record players?
I think they're about £45.
And what's the recommended retail price?
Oh, about £55, I should think. Is there anything else?
Can you quote me the wholesale price for your most up-to-date TV sets?
Yes, they're about £350.
And what's the recommended retail price?
About £400, I think. I'll give you our price list if you like, so that you can check all the details yourself.
Practice 3. Listen and write.
Listen to Stanley Taylor and Mark Quinn talking about Queen Prince's budget for next year.
Let's have another look at those figures, Mark.
Right. Let's start with the overheads. We spend £6,000 a year on rent.
6,000.
And that's stable. Electricity's a different matter.
Our production forecast is pretty good for next year, so I suppose we should allow for an extra 10%.
Right. That brings the electricity bill up to £5,500.
5,500. Should we still allow 3,000 for maintenance?
Let's leave it at that.
Okay, maintenance at 3,000.
I'm afraid the really big increases are in raw materials.
Let's see. Last year we spent more or less 100,000 on paper.
It's more like 120,000 this year for paper.
120,000. Are you sure that's right?
I worked it out. It's a 20% increase.
What about film?
The figure our supplier quoted was 7% up on last year. That would bring our total costs for this year up to about £20,000.
20,000. Well, there's nothing we can do about it except put our own prices up. What's our forecast for next year's labour costs?
I make it about £180,000.
180,000. Does that include benefits?
No, just wages. We'll have 15% for benefits.
OK, so that's £27,000 for benefits. Well, we've done it.
Stanley, do you think our budget allows for another cup of tea?